Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Mick Alphany. Okay, so we're going to begin here with an article on U.Today. And it's titled, Ripple Lawsuit, How XRP Could Have Stayed on Coinbase. Lawyer explains. I don't see why it couldn't have stayed on Coinbase, but we're going to read this little tidbit. But SEC said they never requested that coin to be removed. The same way they did not request, any coins to be removed by Binance recently, right? And I have to say this because I stand corrected. I was saying before in a video recently that Binance and a lot of major exchanges had not delisted the list of cryptocurrencies that the SEC recently put out, which they claim were securities. And I stand corrected. Binance did delist some of them. Binance delisted AMP. And I don't understand this. Binance, do you not see how this goes? If you get bullied, right? Some bully comes up to you and they reach in your pocket and they take out $1 and you don't fight back. You don't stand up for yourself. You do know they're going to come back and take $2 later because you didn't fight back. That's how predators work. That's how bullies work. And yet you bend the knee again. They're still giving you a hard time. Haven't they been chasing you all around and, all these different countries giving you a hard time, Binance? Why would you bend the knee? Don't you have lawyers? Don't you want to fight? I guess not. Binance. So I stand corrected, But yeah, the SEC did not request them to remove any of those things, but they did it anyway. I'll just say that. I was going to say something else, but I'm trying to play nice, right? Well, not nice. I don't like to say that. I don't like to say nice. My apologies. You know why? Because if you know the etymology of the word nice, you don't want to be that. You don't want to be nice, right? I'm trying to be kind. Let's go here. Pro XRP activist and attorney in XRP holders class action lawsuit spoke out in another Twitter thread, this time touching on the delisting of the cryptocurrency by Coinbase. What prompted Deaton to speak out was the news that the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has changed its strategy and plans to leverage the Wahi complaint named after a former Coinbase manager accused of insider trading to ease its work. According to the lawyer, the SEC is doing this in order to avoid meeting with Coinbase's legal team. Every day, the SEC it's more frustrating every day just reading what they're allowed to do and knowing that no other governing body has any type of authority, guts to do anything about it. And the SEC is not going to investigate themselves. We talked about that yesterday. That's not going to happen. No organization does that. But it should show a lot to the people right now, right? That these entities and these individuals you vote into office, they claim they're for the people, they're going to help the people. Meanwhile, all they're doing is reaching into the people's pockets, taking their money and making themselves rich. This happens every single time and the people always allow it. They always allow it. But a change is coming. Change is coming. It's funny, the people, they hate the central banks so much, but the central banks are the ones that are going to give everybody the opportunity. Well, not everybody, right? Just a select few. The opportunity to come by way of generational wealth. And when they do that, if we come into generational wealth, then we have an opportunity to do something. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, we're going to do a whole lot. Warriors to the end. To Valhalla. To Valhalla. I'm going to see the Elysium fields because I have a shield and a sword. We're going to do something about all this. Yeah. They know what's coming. But yeah, isn't that interesting how that works? They hate the central banks, but the central banks are what's going to create the opportunity to do such a thing, right? If everything goes according to plan. But at the same time, the governmental entities that have given people nothing except this moving of the lips. The people love and obey them. My goodness, they obey. Stand on one leg, they do it. Rub their head and pat their stomach at the same time they do it. This is another reason why, if you bear with me, we'll get back to the article. This is another reason why I said in the last video, I was speaking about the possibility of building libraries, right? For the youth, children, youth, however you want to put it, the young, whose minds can still absorb wisdom. Because when you raise the intellectual capacity of an individual, you raise their intellectual standing, they're more likely to make their own decisions. It's mostly the ignorant who are obedient servants. You don't want that. You want thinkers. That's how innovation is had. That's how freedom is kept. That's how the questioning of authorities, if they go rogue, can happen. Strategy happens from the intellectuals, no matter where they come from. The intellectuals move the world. Intellectuals with warrior hearts. Let's continue on here. It says, what prompted Deaton to speak out was the news that the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has changed its strategy and plans to leverage the Wahi complaint. Okay, we read that part already. Let's scroll down a little bit. It says, when the SEC sued Ripple claiming today's XRP a security, which is ridiculous, I argued that Coinbase/Kraken should not delist XRP, but instead file a motion to intervene. This is what I thought all along. But they're not going to do that because they're, I must apologize. I can't be too calm right now. They're cowards. They're cowards, unfortunately. They don't want to fight and not understanding you're going to get crushed anyway. You might as well go out swinging. The beast is upon you, swinging, punching, kicking. You cannot negotiate. You might as well go out swinging. Give yourself the chance to win. The judge may not have granted it. I'm fired up again today. Listen, my people always keep me motivated and fired up. I'm motivated on my own, but they get me extra fired up. So one of my people on Twitter, I'm not going to say that individual's name because I don't know if they want their name out there, but sent me an Achilles quote. You know Achilles is one of my favorite warriors. You know that. And it got me fired up. So I'm fired up again today. You can thank my people for that. My subscribers. That's what I'm talking about. My subscribers, they make sure I try to take care of them and they make sure they take care of me. And it's a cycle. We're like a family here. So I'm fired up today. So the judge may not have granted it, but would have had certainly granted amicus status like she did #XRP holders. Consequences of fear of standing out. Coinbase could have opted not to delist XRP when the SEC made that request, but instead go against it and file a motion to intervene, Deaton said. The lawyers' fear of standing out as a fighter against the SEC led the regulator to put further pressure on Coinbase itself, prohibiting it from offering various services, continues the law. We remember that. They were going to offer something with an insane annual percentage yield. I believe that's what it was, right? Or was it like a staking, some gains from staking? Something of that nature. It was very, very good. And then the SEC came after them and Coinbase scrapped that project. So now nobody is gaining. Once again, SEC keeps the people from riches, keeps the people from wealth, the same people that they claim they're helping. According to the crypto law founder, this was the point where Coinbase was supposed to get XRP back on the list and finally file a motion to intervene. But they gave up again. This is why I classify this as cowardice. Gave up again. This is what the lawyer is saying. All right. And now they are probably going to face a lawsuit from the SEC itself. Didn't I say this? They went in your pocket for $1. And the bully said, oh, they're weak. They're soft. They're shook. They're shook ones, mob deep. Some of you don't know that. I'm showing my age again. What is this shook ones? What is this? What is this mob of the deep? They're shook ones. And so the SEC is coming back for $2. You should have fought. Maybe they wouldn't be so brazen in coming after you. They definitely have their hands full with Ripple. Imagine if all of crypto actually had some courage and fought together at the same time. Imagine what we could have done. Now you have to fight by yourself. And I don't feel sorry for you at all. Let's move on to this next article here. This is on beincrypto.com. And it goes as such. I'm sorry, I have to cut loose a little bit from time to time to keep everything interesting here. I cannot be a robot and be boring. So it's just not my way. Matter of fact, we do what we want here. I'll do a little bit of a Popeye laugh. See that? I do whatever I want. You should as well. You should as well. See, in life goes by so fast. And people are so caught up trying to be a character, trying to be something that they're not, to impress the world, to show the world, listen, I'm normal. I'm like you. You don't want to be like them. The best of us are unique. The great ones are unique. The great ones go against the grain. The great ones have thoughts that others might not have and push humanity forward. So yes, metaphorically speaking, everybody should do a Popeye laugh. To hell with what the people think. You have to break free, break from your shell. Be what you want to be. Walk how you want to walk, talk how you want to talk, look how you want to look, invest in what you want to invest in. Before you know it, this life is over. You have to be free at some point. Be free here. And be free within and be free without. Don't let them bind you. And if they have bound you, I don't care who it is. It's never too late to unbind yourself and be free. Come out of the darkness and walk into the light. You'd be surprised what a little bit of light can do, a little bit of freedom can do. You ever walk into a dark room with a tiny little match, all that darkness just scatters? Here's an article on beincrypto.com. $1.25 trillion wiped off of U.S. equities markets after Fed speech. Losses surpass crypto market cap. I mean, the Fed, the Fed, it's like watching a comedy. They don't know what they're doing. And they're very concerned because they have sat on their hands for so long. The time period to take action has passed, in my humble opinion. What they're going to do now there is no other way than for, well, there's two possibilities here. Let me say that. There's two possibilities. One, they do nothing. And going this slow with trying to reel in inflation is akin to doing almost nothing. They can make a U-turn right now and crush the economy if they choose to raise interest rates at a dramatic rate. I said this before. I believe firmly that it should have in the past been 100 basis points or more. You might as well get the pain over with right now. The only way you're going to bring those things back down is by raising interest rates rapidly. But then, as I said, that's going to lead to the crushing of the economy and deflation. But unfortunately, because the Fed made so many mistakes with printing so much money and horrible monetary policy, just driving the car and not holding the wheel, like that scene in Fight Club. That's essentially what they've done. So it's too late. The pain must come. It's just a matter of when. You can't keep kicking the can down the road. They have to face this sooner or later, and the people are going to feel the pain. There is no other way. So it says the Dow Jones Industrial Average lost 3% after the speech, dropping further as markets closed on Friday, August 27, 2022. Powell's announcements come when inflation in the U.S. is over 2%. Despite that's how they like to phrase that. Do you know how high inflation is right now? Look how they phrase that. They try to be so nice. Powell's announcements come when inflation in the U.S. is over 2%, despite a temporary but insufficient respite in July 2022. Did you look at all the data when you wrote this? They're doing terrible right now. I mean, look at all of the data, not just the curated data they want to put in front of you. All right. There was a reason that things seem to be a certain way. Those who read the data understand. Following the July 2022 Consumer Price Index report on August 10, 2022, showing lower than expected inflation figures for July, Bitcoin rallied to 22K. We're just going to say that. More pain for crypto as ETH whales cash out. These things are going to happen. Has nothing to do with the bank coins whatsoever. So they put this type of information out. I've seen it already spreading FUD everywhere. You saw the markets go red, but this has nothing to do with long holders of the bank coins at all. And so, you know, one of the reasons I like to read these certain things and cover these particular topics is because I've literally seen people in videos and in articles telling people sell everything. They're telling the people. And you know what's insane about that? They are not going to be held accountable if people sell and then the prices go up and people make a ton of money and those individuals couldn't get back in time. Look at what happened with Quant, right? Quant went down, people sold, they thought the market was going to stay down, they didn't do their own research. Then Quant skyrocketed back up from $40. People bought a ton of Quant at $40. I know I did. And then it skyrocketed back up to what, like 128, 130. That was a good profit. That's a good profit. Now, personally, I don't play with the bank coins, but the people who were taking profit, they made a pretty penny. And they're probably going to do it again. But a lot of individuals weren't able to get back in. Because, see, right now, with the harsh economic climate, there's some people where once that money goes out, it's not going to come back. Because they have bills, different things going on. Different governmental agencies are collecting from individuals as well. Like there's so many things going on that could keep people from getting back in. School is coming back for a lot of individuals, so that money goes out to their children. College fees. I mean, there's so much. So it's just insane to me that individuals will do that. That's why you have to be very careful, you know. I've said this many times on the channel. I think you are best at making decisions for yourself. I know how that sounds, but a lot of people don't do that. They wait for someone else to tell them what to do. Don't sell something because someone told you to do it, and don't buy something because someone told you to do it. I'm not here to do that at all. I present information, and then you make your own decisions and remain free. Let's move on here. So we know that's happening in the market. Here's something else that we need to keep our eye on. Okay. On a very serious note, we've been talking a long time about the new financial system coming in, and the world itself is going to change. Really, a new world system, a new world order is coming. It's being implemented right now. The fiat currencies, or rather, the dominant fiat currencies, are in jeopardy. Here is one way that they are. So you remember that the Bank of Italy was working with Algorand recently. They tested Algorand for their CBDC. They put the documents out there. I posted it here. I think I posted it in members only section also. But also Algorand had posted it on his Twitter. So a lot of people were able to download that particular information. And now we see that the Bank of Italy has just bought or purchased, rather, printing inks. They haven't had printing inks since what, like 1999? Do you know what that means? That means that they're considering leaving the euro. As I said before, all of these so-called first world fiat currencies are in jeopardy. That means they're thinking about leaving the euro and printing their own currency. Let's read this little tidbit here. Let's see if we can find that part here. Bank of Italy at 16 million euro contract to purchase ink for banknotes. Why? They're getting ready for the new financial system. Nobody wants to be ruled over by the West anymore. They want to be free. They see the freedom that blockchain can bring them. Put it together. They just tested Algorand, and now they're buying printing ink for their own banknotes. It's not just about CBDCs and digital currencies, but they see that that new system can lead the way for them to be on their own again, to lead their own country again, to not be sat over by a council that doesn't care about them. This is happening all across the world. You see it happen in Latin America, where they're rebelling against the IMF. They're saying, listen, you don't live here. You don't know what we're going through or what our people need. Why should we listen to what you're saying? This is happening everywhere. There is a new age upon us. So the people have to be careful and brace themselves. Be aware of how to make money, but also be aware that you may need to protect your money at some point when these shifts happen. But if the people don't know the shifts are happening, you won't know how to protect yourself or when. You know, this article, this is a very in-depth article. I may actually post a link to this one on the community tab so you can read it yourself. I'm trying to find that part here. It says, millennials and Gen X witnessed the whole euro thing. In all this, it's curious how the millennials, the generation born according to the dictates between 1980 and 1995, along with the previous generation, have experienced the birth of the euro, its decline, and finally a new currency. Here it comes, everyone. Over the next few years, you're going to witness something. Well, you could possibly witness something amazing. I have to say possibly because anything can happen. This could change. The record just described is very exclusive, and many pages of recent history pass in between them. When one considers that the single currency entered Italy only 22 years ago, the facts are real, but no element to date can point to the country being outside the euro or even the European Union. But the information is required to be present and fulfill its duty to inform, without coming to hasty conclusions, but with the vocation to service to which it is called. So Italy may be shirking the euro at some point in the next few years. That's unbelievable. No, it's not unbelievable. Actually, it's quite believable considering certain things that have been going on within the European Union, especially with the European Central Bank and their horrible monetary policy. And Italy has a lot of debt and they're going to need to pay. That's another thing. So there's a lot of debt, global debt, and it cannot be repaid. So they need a new system to repay it so that their country is not destroyed. Countries around the world are not destroyed. But what the central banks are doing is keeping everyone in place so that when it's time to repay, they will be crushed because the central banks don't have to worry about it. You understand what that's like? That's like someone telling you how to live in your house, but your house is being destroyed based upon their rules. And you continue to go along with it to your demise. Now, you don't have to do that. You could rebel. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard. But you could rebel and save your house. But you'd have to go against that authority figure. That's what this is like. That's what this is like. So then we will end here with a little bit of Algorand news. They're always doing something. Algorand has been doing a great job, in my humble opinion. This is on bncrypto.com. It was retweeted by the Algorand Foundation. And it goes as such: decentralized insurance built on the blockchain is a game changer. Now, we covered this article like this very recently, where they briefly touched on this because this is going to be major. But Algorand has given a little bit more information on it. So let's read this little tidbit here. And it goes as such: let's face it, crypto, Web3, blockchain, whatever you want to call it, is growing fast. As a result, there are concerns and skepticism around the volatility and safety of digital assets, including investor funds. Would you put your hard-earned money into anything without some sense of safety and security? If we are going to be honest with each other, and we certainly should be, it is absolutely logical that companies are skeptical to put big money into a decentralized system. In both the fast-evolving DeFi space and the normal verse, there is always the risk of hacks or exploits. Enter decentralized insurance. There have been innumerable cases of smart contracts hacking, cyber attacks on exchange platforms, etc., that have caused huge losses of investor funds. Blockchain simplified states on Medium. Even the magnanimous DAO could not prevent a malware attack on its platform that resulted in losses of billions. Decentralized insurance has plenty of use cases that can help prevent such consequences from occurring. So you see now, you have Algorand expanding rapidly. They're providing security. They're providing insurance. They're dominating the new era of the music industry. They have advertising everywhere. They have CBDCs that they are trying to land. I'll just say that, right? We have to wait and see if these institutions who have tested Algorand actually are going to use it. And this is the same for all the bank coins. There's no guarantees in anything, but they're doing a great job. But they have banks lined up and testing Algorand as we speak, which is a great, great thing. So they're dominating in every way possible. And I'm very excited about the future of Algorand. I love to read things like this. And the more that we dominate in the world, the higher that price can go. All right. So now we're going to close out with a little bit of XRP news. I kept this for last because there is so much to delve into here if one wanted to. I definitely suggest go check this out. This was from a tweet from the XRP Labs, okay? And this is from xrplgrants.org. Now, if you look at all of these organizations that have received grant money from XRP, it's unbelievable. And you can see how they are setting themselves up to absolutely dominate the entirety of the world, or at least as much of it as they can. All of the industry, as much of all of the industries as they can dominate. That means that price is going to go up, definitely. Now, why this is important? Recently, we've seen grantees of Algorand, we've seen them explode. A few of their grantees are doing amazing right now, and Algorand is benefiting from them. So, if it can occur with Algorand, and I've seen that also with Stellar, then it definitely, I believe, will occur with XRP. A lot of these companies will grow to be massive over time, and that means more money flowing across the XRPL. They have music in here, so they're trying to enter the music industry, just like Algorand. There's so much here. They have NFT platforms here. Center for Collaborative Economics. Inaugural project is a Zoom wallet named a Zoom app named Give XRP, which enables simple, secure, charitable donations. So a donation app here. Cool Lion FI is a decentralized peer-to-peer lending platform. So peer-to-peer lending. They cover everything here. This, in about a year or so, hopefully they'll give an update. I believe that they will. P2P loan platform here. There is so much here. Field Boss NFTs, Food Trust Simulator. Going a little bit more into that traceability aspect and simulation aspect. This could be very, very, very good. And this is also another way that you see that Ripple is thriving. XRP its use cases are expanding. Its use is expanding. And in a market where everything else is decreasing and people are getting laid off and projects are downsizing, you have Ripple, Algorand, I'm trying to remember who else, Hedera, bank coins like that continuing to expand, and that tells you how successful they are and have been. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? First, trillions will flow. That's my humble opinion. But if you look at all the data, it points to trillions flowing. And once the trillions begin to flow, then the quadrillions will flow. We haven't talked about interbank payments in a long time. Oh, those sweet, sweet millions and billions of interbank payments. Quadrillions will flow. But we'll talk about that next video. So until next time, let's get to the money.